One.
It's George, and I'm back again. And I'm here to show you what I found. And like I said, you know, people can believe me, they cannot believe me, they can watch, they don't have to watch. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I'm just showing what I find. Because what I find and what I can come to a conclusion is because I have bigger rocks. I don't have bits and pieces and fragments. And this is what people are missing out on. But I have some bizarre stuff, and we'll get started. Now, somebody wanted me to be nice. They thought I was yelling. So I'm going to be nice in the video. I'm not going to whisper like Joe Biden. But I'm going to be a little bit more calmer, nicer. Because like I said, it's not going to matter. Anyways, so we'll go to the first rock that I found. Now on the top here, this one I had hit with a lawnmower. This is what is left of the fusion crust because it was in the ground for so long. And fusion crust is going to be different depending upon how much weather it's exposed to and everything. But this one is a real nice sparkly rock. But I'm sure it was either round or a whole piece at one time, but this is the way it was in the ground. And some of the things you can't see on the rock, you've got to use a magnifying glass to be able to see what I'm really talking about. Now we'll go to this one. This one's magnetic, okay? The fusion crust on it is darker, but it's wore down. Okay? This outside is metal, okay? Magnet sticks right to it. But when you break off that little metal coating on the outside, it's rock on the inside. And this is a tannish orange yellow rock. You know, some of the stuff just doesn't make any sense. Here's another magnetic piece. Okay? But what I'm saying is they're not rocks, you know. That's metal. You can plainly hear it. It's not even shaped like a rock. But this is what I found in the creek. It looks like a viper from Battlestar Galactica. But you know, and the same with this one. And I've had colored ones like this. Blue, red, green. They got this real rough thing off it. Coating on the outside. But if you sand it down like I did on this one, this is metal underneath. This thing's completely metal. Now what green metals, what blue coating metals we have, I don't know of any that exist on this planet that have blue and green and coatings and like this one here. This one's magnetic. This one's got, get my little magnet out here. This one's magnetic too. Okay, the magnet goes right to it. But it's a yellowish brown. What kind of yellow-brown metals do we have? And then here's a green one that's magnetic. But this is solid green. It still has a little teeny bit of fusion crust on it, but they've been on the ground for a while. This one's magnetic too. And I showed this one before. But it's a green, yellow, purple, white. You know, I just don't know. I don't know what to say to people, but it's bizarre because this green one can be magnetic, okay? It's solid green. What metal is salt? What metal is green, okay? These aren't. This is the green with white lines in it. You flip it over. This brown right here is the old fusion crust. It weathered, okay? It weathered and it turned brown. And that's what happens when fusion crust is on the ground for a long period of time. It turns brown. It's hard to tell between some of the rocks that are rusty and some of the rocks that are brown. And then this one, it's still got a little bit of the black fusion crust on it. But it's turned brown in some areas. But it's green, but it's not magnetic. But this rock is magnetic. Almost the same color green. And this is the point that I'm trying to get across to people. It doesn't make sense. Here's a different color of green. This one's non-magnetic. This one's non-magnetic, but I have no idea what this is. This is like a purplish, reddish, white with who knows what. Who knows what these spots are that are embedded into these rocks? What kind of minerals and stuff? But it's bizarre. And it's like this one. Okay, it's green, it's non-magnetic, but all these black spots that are in the rock. Okay, it's green, but these are black spots. And it's funky, and they're damaged. At one time this was a whole rock, but it's damaged. But it had a little bit of fusion crust on it. And then we'll go to the big one over here. Okay? Come around this side. We'll do this big one, okay? This is a really weird, funky, bizarre rock because of the coloring on it. I have an idea that there's a little bit of black fusion crust, not much there, just some speckles, but the rest of this, it turned brown. Now you flip this thing over and then you get a good look at the top of that. I have never seen rocks like this before. This funky stuff. And here in the front part is where I believe when it fell, it was the impact. And it's the same like on this rock over here. On this rock over here, you see this fracture right here? That fracture is from impact. Okay, if this had been sitting on the ground, made on the earth, okay, you wouldn't have these cracks and all these damage spots in these rocks. Anyways, I don't really know what else I can do to get people to understand. But everything I'm showing you here is different rocks, okay? We got so many different colors of green. So many different colors of green, okay? If all the rocks in the same area should pretty much be the same, then why are all of these different? And this is the point. What kind of solid metal is gray on the outside? And this isn't paint. I cleaned the rock off. That's a gray coating on the solid metal rocks that I found. And is it from some kind of alien spaceship? is why I'm finding all these metal ones? I don't know. I don't seem to think so, because it doesn't point that way. But, you know, like I said, people can believe what they want. I'm just reporting what I find and what it points to. And some of this bizarre stuff does not point to any earth rocks. And that's about all I can say. And, you know, I'm glad that some people out there support. I know people are going to criticize me. I'm going to take a lot of shit for this. I know I am. But it is what it is. And if anybody has a better explanation for this stuff, I would really love to hear it. But because nobody wants to step up and try to explain things, I have to try to figure out things for myself. But everything points to what I've been getting at. And if some of this is what I think it is, we don't have some of this stuff on Earth. Color-coded metals. Metal underneath a green coating, a blue coating, a red coating. We don't have stuff like that. Not naturally. We got ores, and you make them into the colored metals. But it is what it is, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get upset anymore. Like I said, people don't want to listen. We can just keep doing things the way that we're doing it. But there's a lot of stuff here that's bizarre that I think really deserves some answers. And I'm going to leave it at that.